Let's be honest, this is an abomination to burritos everywhere. So we're gonna make the best that's ever existed.
Alright, everybody, I got the white elephant gift. Yeah. You. Don't forget to pass them around.
Alright guys, let's open them.
Oh wow!
What is this on here? It was 40% off?
And the link was in the description.
Need I say more? And a 7 times New York Times bestseller. The link is in the description. Okay, so today we're making the Quesarito. The name itself sends chills down my spine, and not in a good way. It makes me sad and depressed, and it just shouldn't exist. I understand what they were thinking, right? They're in the boardroom and they're like, oh, quesadilla, but what if we made it into a burrito? Oh, Frank, what do we do? What do we call it? Oh my God, well, burrito and quesadilla, Quesarito. Really? Who got the pay raise for that? Terrible, terrible. But nonetheless, people love it. They've asked for us to do it. Making things the way that we do. Homemade tortillas, homemade nacho cheese, everything from scratch. And you know what? We're gonna have a fun little twist with the meat. So let's make this, shall we?
Wow, there it is.
Taco Bell.
I think we've actually been to this one, but it's time for the 3-point system. Just visually, right off the bat, this looks like a Taco Bell from 1995. Is that when they were founded, or was it? They were founded at this point in time. It looks very old. These are some nice screens though. So you know what? I'll give it a 2.375 out of 4.6 because of the sign. Can I get 2 quesaritos? I'll do beef. Back to the 3-point system. So the next one, service. She seems like she's having a bad day. She does not seem like she's having a good time. So I'm gonna give him a 5 out of 10 because I feel bad. And I hope she has a better day. Thank you. These literally feel like 2 hot turds in my lap, straight up. The dog just pooped. I picked it up and I'm like, I'll take this home, I guess, to eat. And then of course there's the menu. It's relatively unchanged. The food sucks, but the consistency, very good. And by good, I mean they haven't changed their menu in 430 years. So I'll give it a 2 out of 10 and a half. 2.5 out of 10. That's how we go eat. So we have the bag. This is good, you know, this is fine. I like the way that these bags are made. They're simple, they're very cheap, but that's fine. No modern art. Thank you, Taco Bell. I can't believe I'm saying this. It smells like absolutely nothing somehow, which is actually kind of surprising. I've never actually seen one of these in person. So let's Google a quick image of what this should look like. This, they're saying it's this. Dun, 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 dun. Where the meat at? Did I not order a beef? Is this the vegetarian version? Oh, it's in there, it's just kind of. Holy Hi, Vikram. This is single-handedly the worst thing I have put in my mouth in the last 5 years of my life. I'm not going to analyze it because it is just that bad. If what we make today is not better than this, I will stand on the top of the Empire State Building wearing nothing but a Taco Bell flag.
Ah, a quesarito. Literally just a quesadilla used to wrap a burrito. How ingenious, I guess. The elements are simple. Tortilla, utterly perfect rice, chipotle sauce, papas, nacho cheese, and of course the meat. So good that it practically descended from Mount Olympus. Let's begin with the element that is the least respected in this quesarito, the meat. I mean, let's be honest, nothing's really respected in this quesarito. Look, we're not doing ground beef, pal. I refuse. This could be so much better than that. So instead, I made my birria recipe. Yes, we made a goddamn JW birria quesarito. This is the exact same recipe as the one that is in my, birria queso taco video. So if you want to make that, the link is in the description. But the short version is essentially fatty short ribs and oxtail braised in aromatics and chilies till undeniably tender. The meat is then separated, shredded into the most voluptuous, beautiful, glistening beef of all time. The chilies are then blended with some of the consomme and added back to the broth. The meat is then seasoned with salt, a little bit of consomme, and you now have meat for filling and consomme for dipping. Birria is one of those things that contributes to the world in a way that makes life undeniably beautiful and worth fighting for. Now, assuming that's done, let's make the rest. Let's go for a buttered cilantro lime rice. It's easy. Using a rice cooker, which you should be using one, snag yourself 1.5 cups or 309 grams of medium grain white rice. Tired of saying it, really am. I'm sure people are tired of hearing it, but wash your goddamn rice till the water runs clear. I'm not running you through this for the millionth time, so pop that bad boy in the rice cooker with equal parts water, so 1.5 cups or 360 milliliters. Close the lid and turn it on. Yes, very nice. Once the rice is cooked, fluff it and immediately mix it with the zest of 1 lime, 2 tablespoons or 12 grams of finely chopped cilantro, 2 tablespoons or 44 grams of unsalted butter, then mix that until the butter is completely melted and incorporated in the rice. Season and taste with lime juice and salt, and that's your rice. Please be careful mixing this so you don't, destroy, crush, and break your rice. It's no good. Next is a creamy chipotle sauce, luxurious in flavor as it is in beauty. In a blender, add 1 7-ounce can of chipotles in adobo, all of it, 2 tablespoons or 26 grams of hot sauce, which could be anything you want. You like Cholula? Great, put that in there. 3 large cloves of garlic. Turn on your blender, then remember to plug it in, and then actually turn on your blender. People are always commenting, "Oh, Josh, there's no way you forgot that. You did that for the camera." You don't know what I'm capable of.
Okay.
Then just blend that until smooth as possible. Then in a medium-sized bowl, add 1 cup or 228 grams of mayonnaise, all of your blended chipotle puree, salt to taste, and then whisk together until completely combined, and that is your chipotle sauce. Now I know this is simple, but this thing will kick you right in the pants with flavor. Now for the tortillas, this is the bane of the entire existence of this recipe. You are gonna have a hard time finding tortillas large enough because they need to be slightly larger than 12 inches, something closer to 13 to 14 inches. And for some reason you can't really find that, so guess what? That's why we make our own. Are we starting to get it? God, I'm tired of telling people, make your goddamn food from scratch. All right, makes it a lot better, makes it easier to do whatever you want. Anyway, we have tortilla recipes everywhere, so I'll make this quick. In a bowl, add 2 cups or 300 grams of all-purpose flour, 1.5 teaspoons or 6 grams of baking powder, and 1 teaspoon or 4 grams of fine sea salt. Whisk that together until thoroughly combined. Then separately, we have 3/4 of a cup or 180 milliliters of hot water. Mix in a 1/3 cup or 62 grams of vegetable oil. Then while constantly stirring your dry mixture with a fork, stream in your oil mixture, and once it forms a shaggy dough, begin kneading that filler till you get a soft, smooth dough, about 5 minutes. Cover that with greased plastic wrap, give it a personality that anyone could revere and respect, and let it rest for 30 minutes. Once it's had a little nappy-wappy and it needs its mommy, you're its mommy, then you need to remove the plastic wrap and divide into 5 even pieces. Of course, you can use your scale if you want that ultra accurate, like weigh your whole dough, divide by 5. See what I'm saying here? Now, just roll those into rough balls. Lightly flour one of your balls, flatten your ball into a disc, and then roll it out until you get a circle that's about 13 inches or slightly more in diameter. And it should be quite thin, but not so thin that it tears, which I feel like is obvious, but gotta say it anyway. So what do you do if it sticks? Huh? Gonna run around and cry? Gonna go cry to your mama? Gonna go call papa? No, you just dust with a little bit of flour. Now we only have one issue when it comes to cooking this. You need a big cooking surface. So either use a very large pan, ideally a comal would work great here, or if you happen to have a giant griddle like me, then use that. Heat that brother up until it's so hot you slap your goddamn horse's behind and send it on home. Then toss a tortilla on, and once it begins to bubble up and get some color, about 15 seconds, flip it and cook again for another 15 to 20 seconds. Yes, this thing should cook fast. Pop that onto a baking sheet lined with a towel, or if you're really lucky, Ulysses' incredible grandmother will hand knit them for you. Thank you, Isidore. Besos para ti. Now, just keep those brothers warm and set them to the side. Last but certainly far from least is our nacho cheese. Is there Velveeta in this, Josh? No, but there is a touch of American cheese, which I guess is kind of similar, but not quite the same. In a saucepan, add 2.5 tablespoons or 50 grams of unsalted butter. Heat over medium heat until that's melted, then add 2.5 tablespoons or 27 grams of all-purpose flour. Whisk that together and cook while stirring constantly for about 45 seconds. Then whisk in a 1/4 teaspoon or 1 gram of cayenne powder. Let that toast for 15 seconds, and then add 1.25 cup or 300 milliliters of whole milk. Let that heat until it thickens. And look, if it gets too thick, then guess what you do? You add a little bit more milk, like a couple tablespoons until it is not like a sludge. Once that's hot and beginning to bubble, stir in 4 ounces or 113 grams of grated cheddar. Let that melt completely, and then stir in 3 ounces or 85 grams of grated American cheese. Yes, you can buy blocks of it. Stir that until completely melted. Season and taste with salt if needed, and that is your nacho cheese sauce. Now set that to the side and keep it hot. If it cools, it will start to solidify, so if it does, just warm that up until it's melted again. Okay, I think we're ready for one of my favorite assemblies I've seen here. Are you ready? You better get your popcorn and sit down on a chair, all right? Put the massage function on your chair, light a candle, turn the lights down, pour a little glass of champagne or sparkling apple juice if you are not of age. Now, please, lay down a big boy tortilla, spread on enough grated cheddar to create a very thin but even layer of cheese. Drizzle that with your nacho cheese, and look, admittedly, I could have gone a lot heavier here, but it is what it is. Then another layer of grated cheddar. Now top that with another equally sized tortilla. Wow, that's funny. It looks like we're making a quesadilla. Press that to adhere. Then on the bottom third, add your cilantro rice. Be judicious on how much you put. You put too much, it's gonna be hard to close. Top the rice with more nacho cheese. Add on a fat stack of your juicy, delectable birria beef. Hit that with a drizzle of sour cream, followed by a generous drizzle of your chipotle sauce. Add on a nice little garden of fresh cilantro leaves for freshness. If you're the type of person that complains about cilantro being soapy tasting, get out. I'm just kidding, you don't have to put it on, it's fine. Now, stand back, think about your life for a second, and then do your best rolling job you have ever done in history. Make sure it's tight and well folded, but not so tight it'll bust it open. Now heat up a 12-inch skillet over medium heat with a little bit of spray oil in it, and I would recommend going nonstick for this. Stainless steel, not so great. Then let that sit for 2 to 3 minutes undisturbed until toasted. Get a spat, flip to toast the other side. Then after 2 minutes, and both sides are beautifully toasted, make sure your cheese is all melted. If it's not, leave it in the pan until it is, and your masterpiece is done. A masterpiece that I think we need to see a cross-section on. Let's just get a little soundbite of that. And good Lord, it's got the oozing cheese pull, the anatomy of a burrito, but hold on. We need to get a little bowl of birria consomme garnished with fresh sweet onion and chopped cilantro. And let's get a little dip into the consomme. It has the drip, the red hue that symbolizes flavor and a little bit of spice. And good Lord, cross my heart, spank my knee, take my foot off and throw it out the window like a boomerang and hope to have a good old-fashioned buzz, because that is something you do not see every day. I'm about to take this here burrito into the next room next door to enjoy its flavors in privacy so that others can't see the facial expression I'm gonna make, right? That's what I'm saying. All right, thanks for watching. Do I need to say more? I mean, really? There's actually more beef in this one, which is great. Good for you guys. That smells like a foot. This smells like if you were in a taqueria on Mount Olympus with lavender growing out of your shoes. I don't know what the last note was. I was just trying to think of something else theatrical, so. This has already been dipped a few times in the birria consomme. It's red hued, it's got a scent to it. I think I'd like to bite this by the microphone, if you don't mind, Kendrick. May I? I'm speechless. This absolute log has left me speechless. I wanted to take that a step further, but I'm not going to. A dunk, Jesus Christ. Maybe a little extra sauce. And it holds together, look at that. I think something's happening. I can hear church bells ringing and angels are flying in the air and they're dropping big pieces of birria meat in my mouth. It's a wonderland. The point that I'm trying to make is whether this is what is this called? A burrito? Quesarito? I see how they created that name now. Whether this is a quesarito or not, or cheese-filled quesadilla burrito, this is probably one of the greatest burrito slash taco related things I've put in my mouth in my entire life. Oh, we won. We're gonna need a taste tester. Yeah, woo! The little man is here. He got a new haircut, looks so pretty. So Vikram, can you tell us about how you feel about quesaritos?
Never had one. It looks disgusting. Appalled.
Okay, so we have number 1, coming straight for your tight little mouth. Open wide, sweetheart. Are you ready to swallow number 2?
Yep. That was awful. All right, yours is number 1 and better. That was just an awful experience. I could smell this coming and it smelled amazing the whole way through.
Just end this, all right? Let's end this. You wanna know what else has a cheesy meat torpedo ready for launch? B-roll. Alright guys, and that is it. So we made our quesarito. Every time I say the word, it's just like a little, my hairs stand up. Immediately. It's not right, shouldn't exist. And you know what? I think that we made something that is worthy of existing. Should it be remade over and over and eaten on a daily basis? Probably not, unless you want to go to the hospital. But it is at least worthy of standing on a plate in front of people who care about food. That's what this is all about. So, are you gonna make this? Probably not. Let's be honest. Who's making this? Are you gonna make a 14-inch tortilla? If you have a plancha for it, I guess. Just wait. In 2 to 3 weeks, we're gonna see restaurants putting this out and they're gonna be like, oh, we have a restaurant quesarito. Yeah, wonder where that came from. Anyway, with all that said, if you enjoyed this video or you learned something, leave a like, subscribe, and I will see you next time.